That's your Bible, right? You know, read that. I madwa upon you are you Shalom. Then straight truth. All right. Blessed is Sabbath. Barakatah Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushai. Asherah. Natalanawa. Hashabaf. Bashalawam. Towada. Amen. English translation. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai that gives to us the Sabbath in peace. Thank you, so be it. Ta'alim Ma'a Asherayim Akkad. Psalm 121. Anya Arayim Ayenim Ya O Arayim Mayan Yabu'a Isaiah Yabu'a Mayahawa Shaisha Shemayim Wa'arataza La'a Yonathan Lamawat Wagalia Yala'a Yonawam Shashamaka Ana La'a Yanawam Wala'a Yeshan Shashomar Yasharala Yahweh Shemaya Yahweh Tazalya Ayod Yad Yanyamya Yahumam Hashamash La'a Alkaya Ayarat La'a Balayala Yanawam, I'm sorry, Yahweh, Yashamaya, Mako, Rai, Yashamar, Napasha, Yahweh, Yashamar, Awalakia, Abu Ayah, Ma'aitha, Wa'aid, Iwulam, Bahasham, Yahushai, Tawada, Amen.
Psalms 121. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper, The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore.
Amen. Shema Yasharallah, hear, O Israel, Deuteronomy 6 and 4. Shema Yasharallah, Yahweh, Allah Hainawa, Yahweh, Akkad, Shema Yasharallah, Yahweh, Allah Hainawa, Yahweh, Akkad, Shema Yasharallah, Yahweh, Allah Hainawa, Yahweh, Akkad. Deuteronomy 6 and 4.
Deuteronomy 6 and 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord.
Amen. No, that's it. Yahweh Tapala, Yahweh's prayer. Abiyanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakovka, Taba'a, Ratazawanka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Ka, Bashamayim, Latananawa, Lakam, Yawam, Za, Wasalaklanawa, Ka Wafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Ka Wafyanawa, Wala'a, Abionawa, O, Nasai 1, Abo, Awashainawa, Murai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Wataparat, Lai Wulam, Amen.
Matthew 6 and 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Amen. Ashura, Matazawaf, the 10 Commandments. La'a, Yahaya, Laka, Alahayim, Alkayim, Alpanya, La'a, Daisha, La'a, Laka, Paso, Wala'a, Taibudam, La'a, Dalakaka, Shamwa, Yahweh, La Haika, La Shua, Zakar, Hayuwam, Ashabaf, La Kodashwa, Kabad, Abiaka, Wa Amaka, La'a, Tawatazak, La'a, Tana'ap, La'a, Taganab, La'a, Ta'aina, Shakwo, La'a, Takamad, Ko, Ashura, La'araika, Aman.
Exodus 20 and 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generations of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Amen. Yeshua, please be seated. Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahusha, Asherah, Antananawa, Par Yagapan, Tuwara Aman, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahusha, After Yasha Allah. Translation: Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, that give to us the fruit of the vine. Thank you, so be it. To Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, with Israel. I madwa upon you, are you watch them? Stand and face Jerusalem. Barakatah Yahweh, Hagadol, Bakarum, Abiyah, Wanawa'a, Aliyawan, Malak, Shal, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Wako, Debayim, Kayim, Wagum, Hamashiach, Mayahawa, Arawanawa, Ahabnawa, Hapala, Yahaitaza, Yahushai, Zakarnawa, Yahawa, Ratazawan, Aimka, Yasha Allah, Aizonawa, Bana, Wasap, Yasha Allah, O, Nanawa, Yamyan, Aitha, Kaiwamiam, Makodum, Babakushai, Shalat, Maika Allah, Waratazak, Alahayim, Magunnawa, I'm sorry, La, Magunnawa, Wapannawa, Washimor, Ilnawa, Baikor, Shalat, Alwaka, Shaw, Yahushai, Lanawa, Lala Mudnawa, Rabiam, Kakama, Tabawana, Wada Aif, Shaw, the Barka, Bahasham, Yahushai, the Water, Yad, Iwalam, Aman. English translation. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Blessed are you, Yahweh, the great, merciful, mighty, terrible, most high power, King of heaven and earth and all things living, and also the anointed from Yahweh, our Lord, our friend, the wonderful counselor, Yahweh Shai. Remember us, Yahweh, favorably, your people Israel. Help us build and gather Israel, Most High. We beg you right now, like the days of old. Please send Michael and the righteous powers to protect us, heal us, and watch over us. Mainly, send the Spirit of Yahweh Shai to us to teach us much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of thy word. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Repeat the Hebrew only. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the law. Barakta Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Nathanawa, Atharat. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the light to see. Ba'arakta Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Nathanawa, Awor, Lara Orat. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the ransom to call the people. Barakta Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Nathanawa, Koran, Ha'ayah, Lakara, Ha'ain. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the olive oil to anoint Israel. Barakata Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Nathanawa, Hasheman, Zayaf, Lamashak, Yasha Allah. Yeshua, please be seated. That's Zukar.
Is he here tonight?
He should be, but he said he went to get something.
Oh, yeah, this is Zukar.
Yeah.
And when he come, we play rough with him. We move.
You see that?
No. It's good news.
I told you.
At least you made it to 10.
Are y'all up to speed with the Apocrypha? Shalom. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, everybody.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, those watching us on the live stream. Shalom, those listening on the conference line, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Ayashua Al-Kanas, the congregation of Israel, where we teach that the so-called Negroes and Hispanics, those scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, whose forefathers came from different region in the continent of Africa, all throughout the world, right? Who find themselves in captivity back in the transatlantic slave trades. They are the real Jews that the Bible speaks of. Today is the Sabbath day. As regularly scheduled, we will be going over some chapters, and then we will bring out the sense of the chapters. All right, so again, the Lord's Sabbath day, we're going to be reading today in the book of the Apocrypha. All right, chapter 11 and 12. I'm Kahan Pukwad, and I am delighted to be of service to you to bring out this chapter that in the Apocrypha. Second Esdras.
Got this number? No, this is another number. Did it come up?
For what?
Patak.
Excuse me. Right down the street. Right here.
All right, so we're gonna get started in Second Esdras. This chapter in Esdras contains histories of past empires. The histories of past empires we're gonna read about today in this quest of Esdras to find out about his people and what should be their fate. All right, so starting chapter 11, verse 1, and it says, "Then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads." So to begin with, what does the eagle represent?
United States.
United States, Britain. What else?
I mean, all the white man kingdom.
The seven heads.
Okay.
7 heads. Russia.
Well, this is 3 heads. This is 3 heads.
You said 3 heads?
Eagle represent like a predator?
Say that again.
Like does the eagle represent like a predator, like just a power that preys?
Okay, can't say that. Can't say that. Predator, America, Britain, and what else? What did you say, Gabon?
I said all of Esau kingdom.
All of Esau's kingdom. Let's go to Obadiah. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 4. And Gabar, once you have it, you can read it.
What chapter we on?
We on chapter 11 and Second Esdras.
Okay.
Obadiah 1 and 4.
Yes.
The Obadiah.
Yes.
Good.
All right.
Come.
Obadiah chapter 1 and 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
Explanation?
What's that?
Explain.
Clean.
All right. It appears that he's talking about America, the white man, so-called white man. How he well, his symbol was the eagle symbol. You know, just about all the nations got an eagle in them.
Okay.
Actually, they exalt themselves like then. Okay, he set thy nest among the stars. I guess that's the spaceships and the space stations that he put up in space. He's
Okay.
telling them I'm going to bring them down.
All right. So ego is bad, right?
Right.
Is a ego bad
What do you mean by bad?
as far as evil?
A bird? The bird?
Too bad.
It's a predator.
You mean it's powerful?
It's a predator.
What kind of bad?
Not good. That's pretty much what I.
Huh?
Is it good? Put it this way.
I created it to do.
Okay.
But, isn't that one of the birds that we are not allowed to eat?
He didn't say bad for taste. He didn't say that. He said bad. No, you can't eat an eagle, right?
Okay.
But he didn't say that don't mean it's bad. That's a different definition.
It represents the world.
Dominance. It represents dominance in that species world. Right? It's dominant. So if we take a look at the Most High put the representation of an eagle for a specific purpose, right? If we take a look at eagle, we're gonna see that an eagle have a powerful vision.
Okay.
They have a powerful vision. They, at night, and they could fly on high, and their eyes can, see far below.
For miles up in the sky.
Right. So an eagle is powerful. Okay. An eagle created good for its purpose. So it's good for its purpose. Not good to eat, but good for its purpose. Right? So an eagle, most are characterize eagles as having powerful vision. Okay? And also, a second trait of an eagle is fearless. That's like, eagle is a fearless bird. Fearless.
You don't feel nothing.
Fear nothing. All right? And an eagle, they are very, very tenacious. Right? They're very tenacious. When you see a bird fly away from the storm, eagles spread its wing when the storm comes. They don't run.
They don't run for the storm.
They don't run for the storm. So you see when you see other birds migrate when the weather is changing, the eagle pretty much tenacious, and he take advantage of the opportunity. When the opportunity comes in adversity, or when bedtime comes, they seek to take advantage. So they spread their wings in the storm, right? In the bad weather, they always there. They don't run.
See what they can devour.
Right. So it's what they can get. Right.
It's something.
And they are high flyers. They fly high. They fly high. So when the Most High said in Obadiah, though thou set thy nest among the stars, that means the eagle fly high, all the way in outer space, represent America and their allies, right? America and their allies.
Right.
They fly high and try to set their nest among the stars. They fly high. That's a characteristic of an eagle. They fly high. America, whenever an opportunity, they tell you in every, they take adversity as opportunity. So whenever they see two people are rising, they kind of like bring themselves in the middle as the mediator, so he can take advantage of both of them. Not only to confuse them, but to take advantage. They always seek out for his advantage. Right? And also, let's of an eagle, and then we're gonna go in the scriptures and see how the Most High even tell Israel it'll make to fly like an eagle. Right? Not just this kingdom representing an eagle. We read the scripture and we see eagles. We say, yeah, this is. It's not always the case. Yes, they wicked, but they exert the characteristics of an eagle. All right. And eagles, they nurture their young ones. So America, right? They about looking out for their own.
Okay.
For their own. Are close to them. They divided right now, but they look out for their own people. So that's how we would be the last hired and the first fired. Push come to shove. If you have a so-called Negro and you have a so-called white, right? They will quickly get their people before they get you.
That's a simulation of the eagle.
Of the eagle. They nurture the young. Okay? So let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah. So when we see the Most High created these birds and use them as examples, specific reason why he chose that bird for that specific purpose, to describe a situation. So it's Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. And Patak, you can read it once you have it.
Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. It said, but they said that wait upon the Lord.
But they that wait.
Oh.
Is that
Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with the wings as an eagle. They shall run, not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint.
all right? So the Most High say, if we wait on him, he will make us as the eagle, to have strength, right? To fly up high, and to not be weary, and we should not walk in fainted. So we shall be strong if we wait on the Most High. Right. So just to show us the eagle characteristics is not bad, right? Because it's pretty much to show how powerful and not worried and not fainted and fearless of that species. Okay. All right, of that bird. So now let's go back to the Apocrypha. So that was in the first verse. So now that's why we said right here, it says, then I saw in a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, So now, with the definition we give, let's move on. Which had 12 feather wings and 3 heads. Right? 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. You all right? What's up?
No, what are you at? 11?
Second Esdras,
Go ahead.
11 and 1.
Okay, I got you. All right.
So you can get light. Maybe you don't
If
see.
you had the light that shine on you, and everybody can hear you on the intercom.
Okay. All right.
So the eagle had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. And the wings, what do the wings represent? 12 feathered wings. Keep in mind, we've seen a bird, but the bird is symbolic to people. Right? The birds and the wings is being used in a symbolic manner. It's a symbolic fashion here. 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. 12. You said 12 tribes. What do you say? We're going to read on. Let's read on.
What 11? We got 11 and 1?
Yes, 11 and 1. 11 in a 2 now. We're going to do the 2. 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. So let's read on. And we'll get the idea as we read on.
Okay.
And I saw, and behold, she spread her wings. So she spread her wings. Okay? Over all the earth. And all the wind of the air blew on her and were gathered together. So that wing, that eagle has 12 wings, and that wings, he fly upon the earth. And he covered the whole earth. Right? Three. And I beheld, and out of her feather there grew other contrary feathers, and they became little feathers and small, but her heads were at rest. The head in the midst was greater than the other, yet rested it with the residue. So it's pretty much describing how the eagle looks, right? Keep in mind 12 feathers.
12 feathers.
Okay. And 3 heads. Okay.
How come they got 3 heads?
We're gonna come.
Okay.
What, you have a question?
Yes, back at 2. And it says, she spread her wings, and all the winds of the air blew on her, and were gathered together. As far as the winds of the air, is that talking about like a power or?
Pretty much right here, the wind. Okay, this says, and I saw, and behold, she spread her wings over all the earth, and all the winds of the air blew on her. Yes, power. She has the power. Then she gonna exercise that power. Okay. So that eagle was given the power. The power came. The eagle came along with the power.
Right.
Okay. And I beheld, and out of a feather there grew other contrary feathers. Right? So little feathers.
Yeah, other little feathers.
Little feathers that grew, little feathers on her, right?
Right.
And they became little feathers and small.
That's contrary. That meaning opposing.
Contrary, yes, you have little feathers, contrary, little feathers, that's contrary to them.
So,
all right, so let's bring it full circle. The eagle represent the head of kingdoms. Okay? Along with it, you have also other countries in the 12 that represent also kingdoms. I mean, that's part of the part of the allies of the head. Okay, so when you have an empire, you have the top empire, right, and you have other countries that are allied to you, right? So you got the head, then you got the 12 who are allies, okay, but all part of the same empire. Okay, so we describing empires right here. Okay,
the simulation of you was that
right? Okay, but in order for empires to be established, the empire has to be powerful. Right. So the eagle coming with the wind comes with all the powerful might that they have. Okay, right? So that they can establish the empire, they have to have might to take over other countries, right? Because what describes an empire is a country that expands beyond its borders and conquer other countries, right? In verse 4, but her heads were at rest. The head in the midst was greater than the other. Okay, it says, but her head were at rest. The head in the midst was greater than the other, yet rested it with the residue. All right, so at that point, they pretty much all together, right? So when we start to take a look at empire, ancient empire, we had the Babylonian Empire, right? While one empire might be stronger than the other empire, they might be diverse. What is one thing that is common to all empires? What is one thing that is common, whether they are big, strong, great economic power? What is one thing that is certain to be the same with all empires? All follow the same agenda? Not necessarily, because you can, in some cases, they can follow the same agenda, but in that's something that is common to all of them, because some of them may have different ideologies, different systems, right? Some may be communists, right? They come up with different systems. So what is one thing that is common among all empires?
They all worship the same.
Not necessarily. They don't always worship the same God. They worship idols, but their idols may be diverse.
Might be different.
Right. But something that is prevalent, that is common.
Okay.
Can I answer the question?
Say 1 second, sister. What?
Okay.
Yes, they all have a leader. Okay, yes, sister. You can answer on the conference line.
I was going to say they have a leader and they all fall.
Exactly. They have a leader and they all fall. They all fall apart. That's the one that we want. They all fall. All empire rise and fall.
Oh, okay. Oh, that means the same.
Right. One thing. They have one thing in common. They all fall.
They up and then they down.
They up 1 minute and then they down.
Okay, that's what all have in common.
Yeah.
Okay. That was good. I never got there.
Yeah.
I never got there.
So they all fall. So let's read on. We're gonna see that as we read on. So whatever I'm saying, it may follow when we read. All right. Verse 5. Moreover, I beheld, and lo, the eagle flew with her feathers and rained upon earth and over them that dwell therein. So that empire rise. So we have like the Babylonian Empire. They fall. Right? We're gonna read that. It says, and I saw that all things under heaven were subject unto her. All things under heaven were subject unto her, including the creatures. If all things is subject unto you, right? All things.
You have control of it.
You have control. All right? Verse 7. And I beheld, and lo, the eagle rose upon her talons and spake to her feathers, saying, watch not all at once. So now the eagle rise and spoke to her feathers. So pretty much the subject, right? The subject, the people, right? The people. Keep in mind, again, the Most High is using the eagle as a similitude of empires, of rulership, of heads, right? And everything that he comes with, they subject, right? Countries, right? Allies, okay? And there can be many heads, right? Ruling in one area and another head ruling in one area, but there's always a top head
On top of all
of all of them,
right.
okay? Verse 8. Watch not all at once. Sleep everyone in his own place, and watch by course. But let the heads be preserved for the last. And I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her heads, but from the midst of her body. So now who just spoke right there? He said when he looked at the eagle, he heard the voice, but he thought the voice, I mean, he heard the voice. Let me read 8 again. Watch, it says, I beheld, and lo, the eagle rose upon her talons and spake, the eagle, right, to her feathers, saying, watch not all at once, sleep everyone in his own place, and watch by course. What just happened here?
It seems that the eagle is telling the rest of the empire to be alert, but not at the same time take different times of the night to watch.
Okay. In verse 9, it says, but let the head be preserved for the last, right? Is that the eagle still?
Yeah.
The eagle still? We all together here?
That's the eagle.
Okay.
Preserve the last.
And I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her head, but from the midst of her body. What are we talking here? I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her head, but from the midst of her body.
I think like somewhat, because you have the heads.
Speak a little louder so everybody in the conference line also.
As I think it's like a form of deception. Sometimes when we see people ruling, we think that they're ruling, but they're darker powers or greater powers that's controlling them. So we would think that the heads would be talking, but it was coming from the body, it was coming from within, something that's occult or not seen. So maybe like a darker power, the Satan or whatever that means.
Okay. Okay. Anybody agree?
Sounds good.
And I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her heads, but from the midst of her body. So the eagle was getting instruction, but the instruction was not really coming from the eagle.
Oh.
Right. It seems as if it was talking, coming from the eagle, but when he looked, the voice was not actually coming from the eagle. It was coming from the midst of her body. So the eagle doesn't have as much power as we think the eagle has power, right? The ultimate power is coming from somewhere else. Principalities, right? We rest not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, right? Evil sources in the air.
Okay.
All right. So as we describe the eagle as a nation, now we can start to put people's head that's ruling in our lifetime or past history. We can ascribe the eagle to a particular nation. For example, the Babylonians, as we mentioned earlier,
Right.
all right, was one empire that rise and fall, right? Verse 11. And I number her contrary feathers, and behold, there were 8 of them. And I looked, and behold, on the right side there arose one feather and reigned over all the earth. Right? And so it was that when it rained, the end of it came. So that's the fall. Right? We had the Babylonian Empire,
right,
rise and fall. Right? And we're gonna move on to see other empires that rise and fall. Question, comment?
I guess that's why I was asking about the contrary feathers. Because if all feathers are going this way, there's a couple that come out, even though they're small. Eventually, they can build a following and overthrow and overtake. So I guess that's what's going
right, because there's always conflict within that same body of the eagle. So you have one going one direction and one going in the opposite direction. You have one way of seeing things. I have another way of seeing things. Right.
Now there's one feather on the.
Right. So we're gonna read on. As we read on, we'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
So when we see opposition, there's always the Most High created everything in twos. You have light, you have darkness.
Right.
Right? You have the further going this way, further going the opposite direction. Opposing forces.
Okay.
So when you have opposing forces, then you're gonna have one gonna take over the other at some point in time.
Okay.
Okay. Verse 12. And I look, and behold, on the right side there arose one feather and reigned over all the earth. So one rise and fall. Case of the Babylonian Empire.
Right.
Right? It says, and so it was that when it rained, the end of it came. So it fall. And the place thereof appeared no more. So the next following stood up. So now where's the Babylonian Empire? Gone.
Go.
Right? And then you have it's in rain and had a great time. And it happened that when it rained, the end of it came also. We had what? The Persian Empire.
Right.
Right? The Persian Empire in 549 BC. Right? We had the Persian Empire. Yes. The first one was the Babylonian Empire around 612 BC.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to find out what happened to them right there. So the Medo Persian Empire. It says, and it happened that when it rained, the end of it came also. What happened to the the Persian Empire? Fell. Like as the first, so that it appeared no more. Where are they now? Gone. Then came there a voice unto it and said, 16, hear thou that has borne wool over the earth so long. This I say unto thee, before thou beginnest to appear no more, there shall none after thee, right? It said, there shall none after thee attain unto that thy time, neither unto the half thereof. All right. So the second empire was the Persian Empire, and you see the prophecy there, right? It says, when you fall, there will be none like you. There will be none like you.
No more.
Because the Persian Empire was the largest empire. It was the largest empire in ancient history. All right, when we say largest empire, we're talking about in the time, because largest back then may not be large right now, because right now we have right, global. Everything is globalized now. Okay,
But that was what back then.
that's what it was back then. Right, but it was the largest in terms of total land control at that time. Right, total land control. The Persian Empire was the largest. All right. So right now you can have one countries have about, let's say United States now have about 250 million people on average, give and take, and you can have China now have 1.4, close to 1.5 billion people live there. Right. And the Persian Empire around that time, they had about 40 million people. Right. In terms of land that they conquered, in terms of population, at that time they were big.
They were one of the biggest at that time.
Right. So they were the 50 people living under one authority, under one empire, under one rulership. All right. Right. So, question?
I think it's interesting that even though these were like heathen empires and they worship like different gods, they always knew that the Almighty God, the Most High, allowed them to be in existence. Like they always refer to like, oh, the God that gave me power over the whole earth. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just find it interesting that they had all these different idols and all these different worship, but they still kind of understanding that they were allowed to have this power, to subdue the earth. Right,
and some of them also rebel against the Most High. Some of them, acknowledge the Most High. Some of them rebel the Most High, and we see what happened to them when they acknowledge the Most High. Right?
A problem.
Now, when they acknowledge the Most High as the greater power, somehow their kingdom prosper. Right, and when they allow us to practice, right, our way of life as Jews, the Most High look out for their kingdom. It stays longer than usual until they start to become wicked, and the Most High, bring them down. So right, so it was under the Persian and the Medes, Middle Empire, that Cyrus the Great allowed the Jews in Jerusalem, the captive in Jerusalem, to return to Jerusalem. Right, so that's why they become the largest, and they prosper. And because of that, the Most High said, there will be none like you in on earth. Now let's move on. As a matter of fact, let's get a scripture on that. Let's get some scripture on that. Let's go to Daniel now. Mm-hmm. You're gonna go to Daniel chapter 2, verse 32. And Gabar, you can read it once you have it.
All right, let me know. Everybody say calm when you got it. Let me see.
Daniel chapter 2, verse 32.
Daniel.
Mm-hmm. And then write down also Daniel 7 and 5. So we're gonna read Daniel 2:32 and then Daniel 7 verse 5. So
You need to sit up in your light too.
oh yeah? All right, so let's move. Let's get it.
What was that person said? Obadiah? What was that?
The first one,
Yeah, Obadiah.
Obadiah 1 and verse 4. Keep in mind when we say Medo-Persian Empire, it's like they represent kind of like two kingdoms, two kings.
You said Obadiah 2 and 4.
Huh?
Obadiah what?
Obadiah chapter 1 verse 4.
Oh. And then you got Daniel 2 and 32. And
Daniel 7 and 5.
Okay. All right.
Goodbye. Take it away.
All right. The book of Daniel 2 and 32.
Right.
This image head was of fine gold.
Mm-hmm.
His breast and his arms of silver.
Mm-hmm.
His belly and his thighs of brass.
Mm-hmm.
His legs of iron. His feet part of iron and part of clay.
Mm-hmm.
Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands,
Mm-hmm.
which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them in pieces.
Okay. All right.
Keep going.
That's 32, right? That's
34. That went all the way to 34.
32. I just needed 32.
Oh,
This image head was
you want me to read it again?
right. Yeah, this
All
image.
Right, 32. This image head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass.
Right. So that shows how powerful that head was.
Right.
Right? A head of gold. Read 39. Verse 39.
39.
Same chapter, verse 39.
39.
And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee.
Right. Right. After that, there's gonna arise a kingdom, but it's gonna be inferior to that kingdom. All right. Also, let's see how. Give me 1 second. That's Daniel 7:39.
Mm-hmm.
And also, let's get Daniel 7 and 5 now. 7 and 5. 7 verse 5. Daniel 7 verse 5. Mm-hmm.
Who's reading that?
You can read that as well.
All right, Daniel 7 and 5. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear,
Mm-hmm.
and it raised up itself on one side,
Mm-hmm.
and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh.
Mm-hmm. Arise and devour much flesh.
Mm-hmm.
So stay in Daniel. Now get Daniel 8, verse 3.
Daniel 8, verse 3.
3 to 4.
Daniel 8 and 3. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other.
Mm-hmm.
And the higher came up last.
Right. Okay. So that's the Persian Empire. Yeah, but the Persian and the Medes. That's why we say Persian and Medes. 2 empires simultaneously.
That was the greater one.
Right. Yep. One was greater and one was lesser.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel 8, 3. You read verse 4?
No.
Okay.
4.
I saw the ram pushing westward
Mm-hmm.
and northward
Mm-hmm.
and southward,
Mm-hmm.
so that no beast might stand before him.
Mm-hmm.
Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
But he did according to his will and became great.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And last but not least, let's go to verse 20 now. Read 20. So now to further edify that and then close it out and move on.
So now you gotta go to 20.
Yes. Same 8th chapter, now verse 20.
The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of Media and Persia.
Yes. All right. So that's pretty much it. Let's go back to the Apocrypha now. So now this is great historical lessons. Okay. So when we see things happening, we see people on earth, we're not just there just to be here. There's a purpose for us being here in every nation.
Okay.
And there's a purpose for every empire, and most are control everything. Okay.
Were we at 18?
I believe so, yes. Yes, this is there shall none after thee, that's 17. Then arose the third.
Mm-hmm.
Arose the third. The third right here, who was that? The Greeks. Arose the third, the Greeks. Alexander the Greece. They call him Alexander the Great in the world, but we call him Alexander the Greek. He's not all that great.
But he gave him that.
The Most High is the greatest.
I know they gave him that.
And he wasn't even Greek, right?
Yeah. Right. But there's debate in Greece right now. They don't want you to even say that he's not Greek. Because I was talking to somebody from
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I said, he's not even Greek. He said, don't say that. Don't say that. So, depending on the place you are, don't say that to everybody.
I might have trouble, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Verse 18, now it says, then arose the third and reigned as the other before, and appear no more also. So what happened to the Greek Empire?
They fell too.
They fell too, right? God. So let's get some scripture on that. Remember, the one was in gold. The head was in gold, right?
Right.
What we described earlier, the Persian and the Medes. So let's go to in brass. Okay.
In brass.
But they were the brass.
Right. Right. So let's go to Daniel now. 2 and 32.
You already got that.
Daniel chapter 2, verse 32.
You already got that.
You don't have that where?
You got Daniel 2 and 32.
Yeah, we
No,
read
that's,
that. But
we didn't read that yet. That's what we're gonna
Oh,
go.
we ain't reading it.
No. Go bar, you can read that once you have it.
What, Daniel 2 and 32?
Con. And then 39.
We just read that.
You just read that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
239.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Daniel 7 and 6, sorry.
Okay. Everybody make this thing.
Con. I meant Daniel 7 and 6.
Who's reading?
You are.
Daniel 7 and 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard.
Right. So that's the leopard. That's the Greeks. Alexander the Greece. The Greek. All right. Seven and 6.
Which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl.
Uh-huh.
The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
Right. So it has 4 heads, right?
Right.
What does that mean?
That is able to see in every direction.
4 heads. Okay.
They're talking about the four rulers, right?
The 4 rulers when he
When the first ruler fell,
now when Alexander fell, what happened? Did he pass the throne down to his
To another one.
the
To-
4
to-
generals.
his 4 generals?
4 generals.
All right.
That's very similar.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I heard you.
So it symbolizes he had 4 generals with 4 wings.
So Daniel 8 and 5. Let's read Daniel 8 and 5.
Daniel 8.
Hey, Daniel 8 and 5.
Wait a minute.
We're gonna read.
But he didn't call no name.
No, you can read it. No problem. You can read it. Gobar.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, Daniel 8 and 5. And as I was considering, behold, and he goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
Keep going. Stop at 8.
And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him. But he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven.
Yes. All right.
That's deep.
That is deep.
So the he built the empire, but subsequently the empire was broken down into 4 pieces.
Okay.
Right, when he was strong. Because he died young. Right. Philip the Macedonian. That was his dad.
Oh, for Macedonia.
Yeah, and you read that also in the Apocrypha. But he was a good general. I mean, not when I say good general, he knew how to fight. So that's why right here where it says when he waxed great, waxed exceedingly great. That's why they call him Alexander the Great. When he waxed exceedingly great toward the south and to the east, right? Then then he fall, right? And he died at a young age, and his kingdom was parted into four. The four generals. Right, that he grew up with his friends. Normally you would see, king, they pass it to their heirs, but that did not happen. It just divided into four generals. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. They usually pass it on down to somebody else.
All right, so let's move on.
Why couldn't they pass it down to the four generals?
Because they grew up together, they were friends. So sometimes when you have aspiration, usually around your friends that you grew up with, and we have ideas what we want to do in the future. So if anything were to happen, you will quickly call your friends first before you call anybody else.
Right.
That's how it happened.
Oh, okay.
People you know. So read verse 21. Sorry, 21, 8 and 21.
21.
Yeah, in Daniel.
And the rough goat is the king of Grecia.
That's it.
And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
Yes. Okay. That's what we just read. Read 22 now.
Now that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, four kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power.
Yes. Okay. 4 kingdoms shall stand, but not in his power. So they were gonna do things their way.
Right.
Not in the way of his ideology.
That he did.
Yeah. They were gonna do their own thing. All right. So now stay in Daniel. Go to 11th chapter now. So now we read 8, 5 to 8, and then 22, 21 to 22,
21
to 22. Now we're gonna go to chapter 11, verse 3 to 4.
Daniel. Yeah.
Now you tell me the Most High don't know what he's doing. He's giving you. Some people might think this Bible is pretty much a religious book. You go and hey, that's not. It's a lot of history here. The only thing is you just have to have the spirit for the Most High to help you break it down to his people, because that's his stuff. He put the inspiration in the prophets to write these things down. Daniel 11, verse 3 to 4.
Daniel 11, 3 and 4. And a mighty king shall stand up that shall rule with great dominion and do according to his will. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken and shall be divided toward the 4 winds of heaven, and not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion which he ruled.
Right.
For his kingdom shall be plucked up, even for others beside those.
Right. So kingdom shall be plucked up even for others besides those. So out of this kingdom, there's gonna come other kingdom that's gonna rise, but that's not gonna be of their posterity.
Not the same way.
Not the same way. They're not gonna rule the same way. So it's gonna be the spurts of other kingdoms rise up, right after that great Alexander kingdom, right? Even he passed it down to his four, right? The four are not gonna rule according to Alexander's ideology. They're gonna rule according to their ideology, and then those four that rules, people are gonna take it from them, and they're not gonna rule according to their idea. They're gonna use according to their own ideology.
Your own idea.
All right. So that's when after that we're gonna have other kingdoms that's gonna come, right? So from the 1, 2, 3, third Alexander the Great, then you're gonna have 4, 5, 6, right? Kingdom. That's up to where we are today.
Okay.
That where the set comes in with legs
Yes.
and the stature.
Rest. Yes. So we're gonna keep reading on, and you're gonna get it. So far so good, right?
So far, so
So we're gonna have the fourth kingdom, fifth kingdom, sixth kingdom come in, and it's gonna be going down from there. So let's move on. Let's go back to the Apocrypha now. So that's enough scripture on those empires. Empire rise, empire fall. What verse we on now in the Apocrypha? 21?
21.
Right. For some of them were set up, but rule not. Let me read 20. Then I beheld, and lo, in process of time, the feathers that followed stood up upon the right side, that they might rule also. And some of them rule, but within a while they appear no more. Right? It was a low kingdom that had a quick run, and then they got taken over. For some of them were set up, but rule not. After this I looked, and behold, the 12 feathers approached no more, appeared no more,
Right.
nor the 2 little feathers.
2 little feathers.
And there was no more upon the eagle body, but 3 heads that rested, and 6 little wings. 3 heads that rested, and 6 little wings. Then saw I also that 2 little feathers divided themselves from the 6, and remained under the head that was upon the right side, for the 4 continue in their place. Any question?
So we went from 12 rings now to 6, so the power is half. I don't know.
Right, because some empires already fell already.
Fell down.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And then we had some little ones that try to rise, but they fall.
They fell right off the bat.
Now it's half his power, and then now there's another division. It said 2 wings or 2 feathers go off and went under one of the heads.
Right. So after we had the third empire, the Greeks, then we're gonna have the Roman Empire. Right? We're gonna have the Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire is gonna pretty much rule, but they're not gonna rule according to the Greek Empire. Right? So they're gonna have their own way of doing things, but still it's spread off from that same empire.
So they took over that empire.
Right. So we can say it's a continuation of the Greco-Roman Empire, but not entirely. When we have the 4th kingdom, the Roman Empire, we have the 4th kingdom, and go so on and so on. It's not diverse from the other ones. I mean, it's not diverse so much from the Greeks. It's just that they don't. It's the same. I mean, it's the same people, pretty much ruling.
Okay.
They just have different ways in different systems of running things.
Okay.
So let's go to Daniel now, because we got the now we in the Roman Empire. Daniel 2.
I have a question.
Yes.
What exactly is the three heads?
The three heads. The three heads. The three kingdoms. There's the head in the middle is the top head, and then you have the two lesser kings, the two lesser kingdom, right? Two lesser rulership. But there's the ego is always there with its head, because the ego is not fully done, because we have wings fall, which symbolizes empire. You don't see him anymore. Those wings, they don't come back. You don't see him anymore. Then you got the Greeks, right? They fall, but not entirely.
Right.
They still got some wings left because of taken over by the Romans, right? Same sort of people, but ruling in different ways.
It was Rome.
Right. All right, so let's go to Daniel now. Daniel chapter 2. Goodbye. Give me 1 second. Let me get it. All right, so we're gonna get the broken in pieces into the Greco-Roman Empire. Still a combination. The Roman Empire is a combination of the Greeks and the Romans. Right. So let's go to Daniel 2. Read verse 33.
Daniel 2 and 33.
Done.
His legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay.
Part of iron and part of clay. So it's not all iron, it's not all clay pieces. So which means the kingdom is mixed.
That's what it means.
Right, because it's part. It's not entirely one or the other. It's mixed. So read verse 40. 40 to 33.
40 to 33. 40 to 43.
43, I mean, yes.
Yeah, 43.
And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
That's the Roman Empire we're talking about here.
Okay.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strip of iron.
Right.
Okay. For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with merry clay.
Right. Okay. Makes sense so far? Verse 42.
And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
Partly strong and partly broken. Okay, so a kingdom divided among itself cannot stand. Okay?
Right.
So we're going to see what happened to the Roman Empire. Right? So read 43.
And where thou sawest iron mixed with merry clay, they shall mangle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
That's it. Okay. Right. So now let's go to Daniel now. Still stay in Daniel. Now we're gonna go to 7. That's why the Most High tell Daniel to close up the book until the time. There's a lot of prophecy about what where we are now. Things are being revealed. We living in it, but while we were living in it, we didn't know what was going on.
Right.
All right, we just think we just live and we part of this nation. This that we don't, we just live. But everything is a culmination of what will happen. So Daniel now, 7, verse 7. Verse 7. Daniel 7 and 7. And then
Daniel 7 and 7.
Fun.
You want to read that?
Great. Somebody said you guys say come.
So whenever we see great beasts, right now we in a fourth empire right now, right? All right, so let's go.
Daniel 7 and 7. He speaks. After this, I saw in the night the vision. Behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strongly exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, devour and break in pieces, stamp the residue with the feet of it.
The reverse. Stampled the the residue.
The residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
Right. So now it had 10 horns. It was diverse, and it had 10 horns. 10 toes. So what are we talking here?
Now we're talking about the European countries.
That's it. We're talking about the European Union, the 10 common market in the European Union.
They all be together.
They all be together.
You say they dreadful and terrible. They would devour anything they got in their way.
Right.
That's what they do.
Okay. They will devour everything they see in their way, and they would be diverse from all the other kingdoms. So we read 7 and 7, right? So now read 23 to 24. 23 to 24.
Chapter 7?
Yes.
23 and 24.
Gone.
Chapter 23.
No. Chapter 7, verse 23.
Oh, 7 verse 23. Chapter 7, verse 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces.
All right. So continue to read on to 24.
And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise. Another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings.
Okay. So we have the 10 the 10 common countries. We have Belgium, France, Germany, Greece, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, and the United Kingdom. Later on, they make up NATO, and then they expand NATO and put other countries in it. But that cannot, escape prophecy.
And that's something like he didn't pick all these people and told what they're going to do already. That's deep. It is right here. Who came after Germany? You said Great Britain?
We have Germany, Greece,
Greece.
Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, United Kingdom.
You said Portugal and Spain?
Yeah, Portugal, Spain, United Kingdom.
That's 10?
Yeah.
I'll get it later. Right now. Go ahead.
Hmm?
I'll get it later, right?
Yeah, all right.
The United Kingdom was what? Great Britain?
Yeah.
That's the United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. You already put, yeah, you already have them line up, you know. You had them line up, but they think they they doing something. They line them up.
They wrote this out already, what they going to do.
Oh, man.
What do they do when they read this thing? They must be losing their mind.
Yeah, I'm sure, because they have counselors who tell them these things.
Yeah.
Because they see prophecy, and that's what I'm saying. Their only escape now, they know it's coming, so it's to set up space station and set up, bunkers to go in hiding, even though they know they're not gonna escape.
Okay. They're still trying to.
They're still trying to. What would you do? Being in that position, what would you do? Huh? Yeah.
Right, I bow down, just throw my arms down, bow down.
But keep in mind, they will not submit. Because look at this life. Give up all the money and your empires, to us. It's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Yeah, it won't quit. Because that's how the Most High set it up to begin with. Let's put it this way. They're not gonna give up. Instead of giving up, they're gonna become more hard-headed, more rebellious. Because they gotta show that they're strong, and the Most High gotta show you that he's strong. Then he's gonna come in and send you out to destroy him, just to show you what's the power.
Right. Just like Egypt.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Yep. So they set up religions today, right? It's an expansion. Whatever we see right here is an expansion of the Greek and Roman Empire. So let's go back to the Apocrypha now. You know what? Let's read before we move on. That's very important. Mystery of Babylon the Great. We gotta bring it. Let's read that. No, Daniel, still in Daniel. So it's amazing how in Daniel you cannot read it all through, because each one represent a pieces of the trend of what's going on in the intricacy of the breaking down of those empires. Because if you read verse 7 and 7, it tells you one thing. When you read 7 and 8, it tells you about something else, right? So that's why it's pretty much like a puzzle, and that's why it's hidden, right? It's hidden. That's why the Most High told Daniel to close the book, right? So let's read Daniel 7 and 8 now.
All right, Daniel 7 and 8. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven.
Right? So now read verse 20.
The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of Media and Persia.
Right? So we read that. So now 24 to 27. So we just going into the horns now, right? Horns means rulership and kingdom. All right, those are pretty much the scriptures that we're gonna read. It's gonna tell you horns represent kingdoms and rulerships. So we read 7 and 8, 20. So now read verse 24.
And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people.
Right. So the mighty destroy the mighty and the holy people. Read all the way to 27. You didn't get 7 and 8.
24?
We're in 8.
We in 8.
Oh, 8?
Mhm.
Daniel 8?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is Daniel 7.
So we do 7 and 8, and then 20, and then we're gonna read 24 to 27, and in the same chapter 7.
So we're in chapter 20. We're in chapter 7 or in chapter 8?
7.
No, we're in chapter 8.
No, 7. We should
Because I'm
be.
looking at 7.
Yeah,
but
7, 7,
I think
7,
you're reading 8.
7. Chapter 7. You were reading 8?
Yeah, because
No,
I'm looking
7.
at it like
You
I'm
know how to spell it?
Yeah, chapter 7.
not.
Oh, sure.
So because we're reading about the little horn amongst the 10. That's why we're reading about the little horns among the 10.
How you doing? All right, my bad. Then I must have messed up.
All right, no problem. Just let's get back on track.
We're going back to 7 and 8. Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Daniel 7 and 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn,
Mm-hmm.
before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man.
Okay. So now you read verse 20 now, right?
Now you finished it.
Okay.
And a mouth speaking great things.
Okay.
All right, now jump to 20.
Right.
And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake with very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows.
Mm-hmm.
I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them.
Mm-hmm.
Until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High.
Right. So now we're moving forward now, right, to Babylon the Great. Which verse we just read now? You read 20, right?
22. That was 22.
No, you got to read 20, and then because if you read another verse, it's going to something different. So we got to read 7, verse 8, and then verse 20, verse 24 to 27. Because we going into the little horns.
Okay.
The little horns among the 10 horns.
Right. So after 20, just skip to 24, you said?
Yes.
I'm going to start it over again. I'm going to start at 20 again.
Okay.
And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes,
right,
and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows.
Right. So this is the cause that caused the removal of the three removal of the first 3. So now you're gonna read 24, right?
Right.
All right. So read 24.
And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings.
10 kings
that shall arise.
That shall arise.
And another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first.
Right. So another one shall arise and shall be diverse from the first. All right. So where you at now?
We're still on 24.
All right. So continue on.
And he shall subdue 3 kings.
He shall subdue 3 kings. So the one that shall arise, right? There's one that's gonna arise that shall subdue them. So let's go. Let's move on.
But you're only going to subdue 3 kings.
Right.
You only go to 25.
Not to 20, 25. Yes.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
So you start getting the picture of that one that's gonna rise amongst them. That one that's gonna rise amongst them, right? You start speaking great things amongst the Most High. All right, read on.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws.
Right.
And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time.
All right. So now to put the pieces together, let's go to Revelation. You read all the way to 27, right?
No, I ain't really finished reading it.
Yeah.
That is to 25.
Nice. Keep going.
Okay. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end.
Okay.
And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
Right. So the reason why we read this right here, moving ahead, there's gonna be one among the 10 kingdoms, right? That's gonna rise. That's gonna be greater than the other ones. So now when he rise, who do you think that kingdom is? Who do we think that kingdom is? It's gonna be one, and that one is gonna rise up. Is gonna be America with 2 parties, right? Republican and Democrat, and they keep dividing each other on both sides. They keep pulling. They keep pulling each other on both sides. The Republican Party, we're gonna have the Democratic Party, and among us, you're gonna have the one ruler, the United States of America. They're gonna rule with 3 ideologies: Republican and Democrat.
Yeah.
All right, turn the heat down.
Yeah, it's out of here.
I can't get up the seat, so somebody got to do it.
You can be electronic. Yeah, all right.
All you got to do is just switch it from automatic to off, and then once it start getting cold, then we'll turn it back on.
I was gonna hang it over here. All right, you can continue discussion while we. You said the Democrats and the Republicans, and what was the other thing?
That's gonna be the battle axe of that kingdom that's gonna rise. That one kingdom that's gonna rise.
All right, the Democrats and the Republicans, didn't you give them a signal? What was the signal that they were?
Let's go to Revelation so we can get it. Let's go to Revelations. Because the Roman Empire is gonna fall, right? When the Roman Empire fall, then you're gonna have that one that's gonna come ahead again, but it's gonna be a revival of the Roman Empire, which is America. The Bible we know as America is Babylon, Babylon the Great. Because yeah, right. So the Roman Empire in 93 AD fell. In 93 AD, which is the fourth kingdom that we're talking about here, right? So let's go to Revelation 17 and 1. We're gonna read from 1 to 6. Right, it's gonna fall and then it's gonna come back in 1453 again. It fell in 193 AD and gonna come back in 1453.
Say Revelation 1 and
during
6.
the Renaissance era. Huh?
Revelation 1 and 6.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 1 to 6. It's gonna be one head with two horns. It's gonna be America that's gonna rise up, right? After the 1453. One head with two horns. The two horns is Democratic Party and the Republican Party. That's how they're gonna rule.
Oh, okay. That's because the Democrats, they're both of America.
Right.
Which is the head, but now where's the one head with the two horns?
We're gonna read about it.
Oh, is it Revelation 17?
Yes.
17.
Yes.
Revelation 1 to 6.
17 or what?
17,
1 to 6.
verse 1 to 6. All right, so read that fast because we got to get back to the Apocrypha.
Of course. All right.
Because this thing has, this chapter has a lot of revelation in it. And when we read it, it's not really broken down. Because it was supposed to be hit, right?
Right.
Until the time. It was supposed to be hit until the time.
Right. Till time comes.
Right.
All right. Revelation 17, 1 to 6, you said?
Come.
All right. Revelation 17, 1 to 6. And there came one of the seven angels which had seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth had committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth had been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
All right. 7 heads and 10 horns.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations.
Stop right there. Stop right there. 7 heads with 10 horns, right? So we did the 10 market, common market. Right. The 10 horns are 10 kingdoms, right? Right? In the 10 kingdoms, we have Greece, Roman, Spain, France, Germany, Great Britain, and Russia. Among the 10 common market.
On the whole 10.
Right. The 7 head with 10 horns. Right. 7 head, we have the 10 common market, which formed the European Union, which later on formed NATO. Right. And then they put more people in it. Then we have the 7 head with 10 horns. The 10 horns are those bigger countries.
What's the 7 heads?
The 7 heads are the 7 big countries in the European Union. Okay, you have Greece, Roman, Spain, France, Germany, Great Britain, Russia. Those are the big countries which have their own system established, but they still ally with the 10 European Union. Plus, they ally with the Great Beast also, which is America. They all allies in NATO. Make sense?
Yeah, it do.
You have the 10 common countries, right?
10 countries.
That we just say Belgium, France, Germany, Greece, Luxembourg, right? Then you have the 7 head with 10 horns. Even they still part of the 10 heads,
Right.
but they are kingdoms.
The 7 heads of the kingdom.
Right. You have the 7 kingdom, which means France is a power.
Right.
They got nuclear power just like the United States.
All these nuclear
Right.
powers.
You have Spain also has their own, huh?
Army?
Right. Not only that, it's like pretty much they stand on their own.
Okay.
They rule their people. They have their own parliament and things like that. They rule. Right.
That's up to 7.
Right.
The 7 heads.
Then you have Rome. Then you have Spain.
Right.
Then you have France. You have Germany. Then you have Great Britain. Right. They all stand alone.
Right.
So they rule their own kingdom, but they still part of the 7 head with 10 horns, still dealing with the great whore, which is America. So let's get back to Revelation.
Okay.
What chapter you on verse 17?
17.
What verse?
Chapter 1 to 6.
Verse 3. Start.
Where you at now?
Start at 3.
Mark? Read.
Revelation 17, verse 3. All right. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So that woman is America, right?
Right.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon.
There is 1 host and 6 participants in this conference.
Okay, go ahead.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration.
That's it. Right? So we see what we're coming into right now, right?
So the beast is the 10 kingdoms together, and America is Babylon the Great, the woman is sitting upon the beast, controlling the beast.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So read verse 18 now. Jump to 18.
Revelation 18 what?
Verse 17. Now we're gonna do 17 and 18.
We're doing verse 18.
Right. No, we read verse 18.
Read verse 18 in Revelation.
We're doing verse 18.
Right.
In Revelation.
Right. Of chapter 17.
Right.
Okay. You gotta be make sure. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
Right. Okay, you got it right here?
A woman.
He's reigning over the kings of the earth.
Yeah.
Over the kings of the earth. So when you see the kings of the earth, think about the European powers.
Okay.
NATO, those countries that running. So America pretty much control them. On top. Right? So when you see America taking certain foreign policy decision, and sometimes if they go against it, America say, I'm not with it, and nobody can tell them anything.
Right.
But if it's them, they call them in the United Nations and sanction them. But America's pretty much telling you that he's controlling things. You can do nothing to them.
Right.
They can go in countries and bomb and kill people. They never get called in the UN, right? To put sanctions on them. They put sanction on Iran, right? But they don't really have evidence, and sometimes they don't even have the vote. They unilaterally take decisions, right? Sometimes they have to go in countries. They have to pretty much get vote, but they bypass all of that,
right?
Based on on security. Somebody help me. Based on national security.
Okay.
This is matter of national security, so we have to act.
So they gotta get proof.
No, so they can bypass it. This is a matter of national security. So we got to protect ourselves. Right? So they go to Congress, and Congress, as long as Congress give them the leeway, they go. They held with the United Nations. So they rule over those countries that part of the EU and part of the United Nations.
Oh,
So they run NATO pretty much. And for example, they tell Russia, even Russia as a superpower have more nuclear weapons than the United States. But guess what? They told Russia in 2001 that they would not enlarge their borders under NATO agreement. Look at the map now from what they signed before. They enlarged their border and moving and conquers other countries close to Russia. Violate the agreement. Russia can say nothing at this point. You know what I'm saying? So if anything happened, then you're gonna have World War III break out.
okay.
Because America, they will sign with you at the time, but when things are going against them,
They pull out.
they pull out, they're gonna violate it. They're gonna double cross you. And they promise that they would not, enlarge, take over any countries close to Russia.
They lie.
They lie.
They lie.
But guess what? Russia is part of the 10 horns, right?
Right.
But guess what? They still on top. Just proof prophecy. They rule over those countries.
They still rule.
Right. I mean, they rule over the. If any of those countries don't agree with it, then it's gonna have to be an all-out war. Because America, once they send for it, they're gonna keep going. They don't back down.
Okay.
They only back down if they see a disadvantage. But at some point, Russia gonna say, you know what? I got power like you. I have weapons like you. That's the hell with it. I'm not taking that.
I ain't gonna take that chance.
That's why the other day, Russia flew one of their biggest bombers to Venezuela. Two of them. So they doing drills with Venezuela. Right there, close to America. Because they said, since you violated our agreement, we're not gonna hold you to anything that you say. So now we're gonna do our own thing. So you think what do you think America is gonna do?
Retaliate.
He's gonna retaliate. So what do you think that's gonna do?
Start a war.
World War III. So you gotta pay attention to little things that's happening right now because the moves are being made, right? The moves are being made, but if you're not aware of what the scripture says, you might get caught unaware.
Okay.
I got it off the radio. Yeah, they fly around there where everybody having fun at the beach and everything.
One of their biggest, a 163 something bomber. That plane can deliver 12 nuclear weapons, warheads.
Okay.
That's just warheads. They have other missiles on board because altogether they can carry about 40 tons of ammunition.
Over in Venezuela, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Venezuela is upset. That's why all them people running out of there, right?
Venezuela was upset, and they have problem with United States.
Right.
Okay.
So now Russia is allied with Venezuela,
Right.
but while they ally with the U.S. supposedly, right?
Your
They have
input is
disagreement.
invalid.
They have disagreement, but they still ally. But what happened is, if you keep breaking agreement that we signed,
Right.
later on, I'm not gonna deal with you.
Right. They're just building up strength.
Yeah.
Attack. They acting like they're friends as soon as they
You know what?
get the
Let's get
power.
back to the Apocrypha. Otherwise,
All right.
that prophecy is crazy.
The prophecy is. Ain't that crazy?
Mhm.
Anybody. All right, where we at? 23, 24, second Esdras? Yeah. 11.
That is
No,
no.
verse, I'm talking about verse wise. Oh, we're around 23, 24. I thought we all at.
Like 25.
I think 27, right?
27.
Oh, okay, we could be there.
27.
All right, 27.
Okay, 27. And the second was sooner away than the first.
Mhm.
And IBL, lo, the two that remained, though also in themselves to reign, thought also in themselves to reign. And when they so thought, behold, there awoke one of the heads that were at rest. There was one of the rest that were at rest, namely it that was in the midst, for that was greater than the two other heads. Then I saw that the two other heads were joined with it. And behold, the head was turned with them that were with it, and did eat up the two feathers under the wings that would have reigned. But this head put the whole earth in fear, and bare rule in it over all those that dwell upon the earth. When they say it awoke, so that was the Roman Empire back again, rise up back again, which we have now in 1453.
Ain't this something that goes
During the Renaissance.
Years ago? It's matching up right now.
Then come America that we just read about in Revelation.
No, it's happened
a long time ago, and it's just occurring now.
Yeah, think about it. You know how long ago this
It's
is
been in the pocketbook for the longest.
Yeah.
Let me read verse 32, right? No, verse 33. And after this I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more, like as the wind. Wings. But there remaineth the two heads, which also in like sort rule upon the earth, and over those that dwell therein. And I beheld, and lo, the head upon the right side devour it that was upon the left side. Then I hear a voice which said unto me, look before thee, and I consider things that thou seest. And I beheld, and lo, as it were roaring lion. So now it's transitioning. Okay. So did we have it? We got it?
Now we want explanation on that.
No, that's pretty much what we read in Revelation, speaking about the revelation of America rising up amongst those that were among the 10 heads and 7 horns.
Well, speak on the 2 heads, which in between the little heads.
The 2 heads is America, right?
Right.
And rise up, you have the left wings and the right wings.
On the 2 heads.
So that's what they use to rule over. You know, and everywhere you go around the world, it's either you choose to be Democratic and Republican.
One or the other.
Yeah, that's how they rule over the earth. Except China, right, who's a communist country right now.
Was Russia, Germany like that one time?
Russia?
Wasn't one of them like that? Did they boot down that sign up there on top of that building?
Right, but overall.
But one day, I'm agreeing with you saying, but wasn't they one at one time in life? Russia, Germany.
Right, you had the Cold War,
yeah, all that back then. They was one.
Communism, Russia and China.
Okay.
Communists.
All right, they was one too.
Germany, they took the wall down.
Right.
They was communists too. They took the wall down.
Right, but all that with influence of Democratic Party and Republican Party. You know, so they want. That's why you have America wants to invade countries and impose impose either democratic ideologies in those countries. And any countries that don't want to abide by their rule of the democracy and Republican, they say you are part of the evil army.
The evil what?
The part of the evil side. You're part of the evil side.
If you're not on this side.
If you're not on that side, if you're not doing what they want, they call you evil. That's what they're doing with Syria right now, because Syria is not down with it. Iran is not down with it.
They're gonna start a war. They might be anybody next. They're gonna start a war. They ain't going to college.
All right. Moving on.
What verse? 33.
33,
That's not a problem.
34.
34.
Oh,
Yep.
no, you
Mhm.
read that?
So in IBL 37, in IBL in low, as it were a roaring lion, chased out of the wood, and I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle and said. So now, after all is said and done, now it's time for prophecy. Now the book is being revealed. That's why we out there and prophesying. So after all is said and done, the Most High just showed this. Then Esdras see another vision of a lion going out there.
Okay.
Okay, so now the lion is prophesying about what's getting ready to happen,
Okay.
so it can awake the people. Yes, Zakar.
So, in the Chinese Bible, the Muslim Bible, Russian Bible, they don't have none of this in their Bibles at all, like that Quran.
Yes, they do. They do have it.
They do have
They
it?
do have it,
Understand.
except they don't understand it. They see it as Jesus, go.
They don't have no understanding to it.
They don't understand it.
They will real soon.
Yeah.
When the time comes, they
They
will.
catch one of these brothers on YouTube, they're gonna know what
Yeah, you're right.
what it means.
Okay.
They explain it.
Right. So pretty much, let's finish up. It says, "Hear thou, IBL, in lo, as it were a roaring lion, chased out of the wood, and I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle and said." So now he sent a man out of to the eagle and said. So he sent a message to the eagle. So we are clear now. The eagle is talking about an empire.
Empire, yeah.
Verse 38. Hear thou, it's a hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, are not thou it that remaineth of the four beasts? Remember, we had four great empires.
Right.
So America is an extension of the Roman Empire. All right, of the Greco-Roman Empire, based on what we brought out. Little pieces of the way they rule. Right? It says, are not thou that left of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their time might come through them? Right? The end of their times might come through them. Verse 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwell he upon the earth with deceit. All right. How do they rule America? Power structure rule through what?
Deceit.
Through deception. Through deception. They deceiving each other. You see what's happening in Trump? Like the deception is all out and open, and nobody really cares anymore. Your lawyer that is close to you is locked up for 3 years.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's sentence. No, it's not. It's deceit among them. One is deceit the other. You don't know who to believe now.
Outline each other.
Yeah, and it's out there in the public.
If the lawyer get locked up, he got to be next though.
Hey, I'm lying for you. Not you, Mr. Day.
He's lying for his
But here's what happened in this kingdom. Here's how it goes in this kingdom. Somebody put it this way: it's like a string, and one in here, one in there, right? The power structure, the way it's set up, they allow you to shake the string, maybe from here to here, right?
Right.
Or they can allow you to shake it from here to here. So you could be all over the news, making headlines. whether to making money, to become powerful, or to doing wicked stuff. They let you shake it. They decide who they let to shake the string. If you shake it this way, they say, okay, this guy is making too much noise. Let's take the camera off of him. Or let's take him down.
Right.
Or you could shake it the whole way. They still let you go through because they run things. So like Trump, if they want to let him shake, and not get locked up and nothing comes upon him, that's what's gonna happen. You look at Clinton. He did all kinds of in the Oval Office. Right there, evidence, everything.
Yeah.
It shakes the string on both ends. They still let him slide. So they control who they let the thing slide. Bill Cosby. It shook the string a little bit, got some stardom in TVs and become high. You know what happened? We gotta shut him down. Put him away. So they let you shake the string according to who they wanna let shake the string.
So who was that that did that?
Who that did that?
Yeah, shoot the string. I mean,
the oligarchs, the power structure that control the system.
Oh, the power structure.
Right, the powerful people that control the system.
Oh, they're the one did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? So you might think it's just like the Most High, right? The Most High have mercy on whom He will have mercy. These people, they try to rule like the Most High.
Right.
They pardon whoever they want to pardon.
Right.
And they let go forward who they want to let go forward.
Okay.
Right? Because they said in the scripture, it says, I will be like the Most High. So they want to rule like the Most High.
Is that what he said?
Yes. In Obadiah.
In Obadiah?
Right. Okay. When we read in 1:4, it says, I will set my nest amongst the stars. I'll be like the Most High.
Oh, that's what he said.
So they want to rule their kingdom like the Most High. So they decide who they want. But in all reality, it's not them that's running. It's the Most High that's running. But in their mind,
they think
since they've been deceiving people, they got deceived by their own. They got deceived by their own pride.
Right.
The pride of thy heart have deceived thee. Right. The same Obadiah. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee. So since he dig his hole, he's gonna fall into his own hole.
Say that about lots of times.
So let's finish up. And it says in verse 41, for the earth has thou not judged with truth. For the earth has thou not judged with truth. For thou hast afflicted the meek. Thou hast hurt the peaceable. Thou hast loved liars. You see, they love liars. The people who are liars, you prosper. And destroy the dwelling of them. If you see that that movie, Citizen something by Jamie Foxx, it's not what you can, what is truth is what you can prove. It's not about truth, it's what you can prove. Right. So it's not about truth in this land. If I lie and I can prove that I'm not lying, then I win. By more lies.
You got to cover them up.
Right. It says, for thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Therefore is my wrongful dealing come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. So that wrongful, whatever they've been doing, it mount all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, build up and build up and build up. So now at the time has come. It says, the highest also have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abomination are fulfilled. And therefore appear no more, thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings. Ego is the empire, rulership, kingdoms, plus the wings are other allies and kingdoms also. It said, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. If you understand this thing right here, that's it. Bless all your eyes. That's America. That's the destruction of America.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of America. That's the end of America.
When you say America, America
And you see,
every
all the feathers, all the countries that align with them, the NATO countries, right? The European Union, all these people, Great Britain, Germany, Russia, right? All these countries, all of them, they're gonna go. Because remember, he says, the ego gonna go, the head of the ego gonna go, right?
That's all the kingdom.
Yeah, the wings of the ego gonna go.
Right.
The feather of the ego gonna go.
That's all.
And then so all the wicked body of the ego gonna go.
So all those
It's gonna be
powers as well, right?
huh?
All the dark forces. And
the dark force. Put it this way.
They was controlling the
Right.
whole ego and everything, and they too have to have their judgment as well.
Right.
Put away.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be judgment for all, and then we finally got peace.
Yes. That's why when we have that peace, we can only say, man, what kind of peace will that be?
You don't know.
Because that peace, we never experienced such peace ever in our experience, in our life. We never experienced such peace. Meaning no worries for anything whatsoever.
You spoke of all these Europeans that's getting out of here. But then you spoke of the dark powers that was controlling Europeans. Where is that indicated in the feathers and the body of the eagle and that stuff?
The winds. He wasn't here when we started, was it? Yeah, okay. The winds. Remember when I said it came with the winds that blew on the winds is the power.
And then wasn't that also the voice that appeared to come from the head, but it was coming from the body?
Absolutely, yeah.
That was that.
Yeah.
So when did it say it was going to destroy that part?
What part?
The winds and the voice.
And
what?
And 45.
Let's read that again. Maybe I missed it. Okay. Horrible wings, wicked feathers, and malicious heads.
You say all is going to disappear.
All that vain body.
They're all our vain body. That's the voice.
Yeah, the voices that were coming from the body.
So when the judgment comes, all that's going to disappear.
Okay.
Malicious heads, feathers, and all when that time comes.
Right. So the Most High pretty much use the ego and give you an image, and that ego embodied the world empire that we've known up to today, and how that world empire will be gone forever, because empire rise, empire fall. There's gonna be an empire that's gonna rise and never fall. So until then, we're gonna keep experiencing empire rise, empire fall. So we had the four empires, then we have America that pretty much started from that fourth empire.
Right.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
In 37,
Mm-hmm.
you said there was a messenger that was sent, the roaring lion.
And 37,
Yeah.
he says, then I heard a voice
37, and I heard the voice.
to me. 37, right?
A
roaring lion
chased out.
Chased out.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that he sent out hands
Right.
So the roaring lion came out of the woods with a message, with a man's voice. Would that be like signifying Jesus?
I would say
man's voice?
the Lion of Judah.
Jesus.
Because everything that's happening right now is happening through Yahushua anyway.
Right.
And
Right.
he came with the message that
Right.
my kingdom is coming.
So Abishai, he runs out different signs and messages too, when the simulations of the eagles, lions, and all this, you know, give an image of him.
Right. That's the message.
So I guess that's why they were saying that the Babylon the Great was destroying the saints because the saints are of the lion and the lion's kingdom.
Right. So if you read where it says it devour the
Not
saints.
hearing the discussion.
Speak louder.
Yeah, speak a little louder when you
I think
speak.
it was when we touched Revelations. That's why I saw it, that the Babylon the Great and it had the blood of the saints. So that's why Babylon was destroying the saints, because we knew that they would eventually have the kingdom that the lion came to give the message about.
Right. And we can see that also in
Whoa, hold on for a minute. I don't think he got that. Your face look like I've been here. I'll call you tonight. Go ahead, say it loud again. What's your name?
Khadijah.
Khadijah. Say it loud.
When we went to Revelations and we basically got an understanding of who the woman was that was sitting on the beast, and in Revelations it said that this was the city that I guess like devoured a lot of the saints, had like a lot of them martyred or killed. So if that's America and that's the greatest kingdom,
That was sitting on the top.
yeah, that's sitting on the top, there's a reason why they're slaughtering the saints, the ones who really belong to the everlasting kingdom. So it's like they know what's coming, and they know to oppress us, and they know to kill us, but they can't really squash us out because we'll be back.
right, because yes, it's happening, but we can never get rid of.
Yeah, all they did to us in slavery, we still here.
Right.
They didn't do a whole lot. We still here.
Right.
Sure did.
Because after they use you, after they use us, they don't need us anymore.
To get rid of you.
They will get rid of you, right? If they can.
Right.
For example, after they use up your energy, you cannot be of service to them anymore. Throw them away. You retire. We don't need you anymore.
And they know that they can't get rid of us, so they just got to deal with us. And they just going about their own. They're trying to survive now.
But they continue to oppress us and get us to kill each other.
Yeah,
as long as they can get away with it, they're gonna continue to do that. But they know they really can't kill us because we God's people. So all they can do is start preparing to fight God now.
Right.
Okay.
Preparing to fight Yahushua.
Right.
So all right, and all the space exploration you say is not innocent.
They're not going out there.
It's not innocent. They're not going out there just for a flight, just to let's take a flight in outer space.
Right. They trying to find
There's
some
a
other
reason
means.
for that.
Yes.
They trying to find some other means so they can fight from the air.
Escape and fight from the air. Whatever advantages that they can.
Right.
Because like we were saying, like eagles, they have a vision. Right? They have a vision. They can see far. So the thing is, they want to establish themselves to put themselves at a competitive advantage. They think that everything is business. Everything is like, fighting and winning. But they don't understand that you can fight the Most High.
Yeah, but they
believe they can.
Because they don't have no other. All they can do is either put their guns down
or fight
and admit defeat and fight.
But that's not gonna happen.
Right.
We're gonna fight.
I mean, evidence has shown it's not gonna happen. If that was the case, we would be restored already.
Right. But they still continue to try to destroy us every chance they get.
Oh, right. Make you fight them until you up.
Yep. All right, so finish with that part. Let's take a break.
Right.
We'll be back at 2:30,
Mhm.
or more so 2:34. All right,
That was
for the
pretty
second
good.
half.
That was pretty good.
All right.
Pretty good. Yeah, that's good. I wait 10 days.
Broke it down.
10 days. We wait 10 days. We wait 10 days. You got it down? 10 days in the book.
You don't write it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in my book.
Sharper than you, you read it